Good afternoon. I'm Tim Barnett. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Bluefin Payment Systems. This is Russell Miles. He's our Chief Innovation Officer. Today, what I wanted to talk to you about is Bluefin's point-to-point encryption solution and the problem that we're trying to fix. If you look out today in the industry with data breaches, they are getting larger and larger, and they happen more and more frequently. A couple of weeks ago from the Home Depot breaches posted, and you can see the one week increased over 396% just because there were so many records breached. So I wanted to show you a little bit typically what happens here in these breaches. Retailer systems are constantly under attack, sometimes by state-sponsored hacks, sometimes by organized crime. But during the day, in the evening, when nobody's there, people are continually trying to breach retailer networks, and it's happening more and more often. And that's because today all they're looking for is one way into a company's network. It used to be that it was a little bit more difficult to manually hunt and peck around to find your way in, but now there's so many tools and so many bots. They scan, they get into a network, and then once they're in, what they're doing is they're exploiting that connection between your card terminal and your point of sale system, because today in most systems it's unencrypted, it's not protected. So they sit there, they run RAM scrapers, sit in memory, steal your data, and the worst part is people don't know what's happening. I mean, this goes on for weeks, months, until one day, you show up on a website where you've got hundreds of thousands of cards for sale. So it's a real issue. So what can we do about it? This is kind of my three-legged stool solution here. Tokenization, been around for a while. A lot of people do it. Different schemes, Visa, MasterCard just released theirs, and Apple Pay is using that. But largely, tokenization is there to protect data at rest on your network. Don't store cardholder data if you don't need to do it. EMV 2015 is right around the corner. We all know what happens. Liability shift changes. So if you're re-terminalizing terminals today, make sure you buy an EMV terminal. But the biggest thing you can do is deploy a validated point-to-point encryption solution. Encrypt the cardholder data at the point of entry. So quick diagram. I know it's really busy up here, so I'm obviously not going to read that to you, but somebody comes in, uses a POI device, a validated device. You can see which devices are validated on PCI's security standards website. Data is encrypted in the device, and it goes through the retailer system. It's protected. So this is what's being exploited today, and this is where we can help. And what we're trying to do is remove merchants from the attack. So the data is decrypted, the cardholder data, the track data is decrypted in Bluefin's validated environment. And by the way, March of this year, Bluefin became the first solution provider in North America to become validated for end-to-end P2P solution. It's like 900 compliance things we had to go to get there. So, and then briefly, we'll give Russ in a couple of minutes here. A couple of things Bluefin's doing. We're rolling out this next quarter, I guess tomorrow, a mobile P2P validated solution. So, so now you can take this P2P protection into the mobile space. We'll also have Android and iOS SDKs to go with that. Probably the bigger thing here is in the first quarter, we are taking everything that we've done in our validation, hosting environment, chain of custody, everything, and rolling that out as a service to other players in the payment space. So with that, I think I'll turn it over to Rustin.
Thanks a lot, Tim. We all know there's a war going on out there right now with breaches. I mean, it's a breach a week. Major retailers, Target, Home Depot, Jimmy's. It's happening all the time, and the first casualty of war is usually the truth, and I think that's what's going on. There's a lot of folks that are looking over at EMV and thinking, well, gosh, if we just re-terminalize and that chip is going to save us from the breach, it couldn't be further from the truth. All the EMV does is fixes the card. The card that you have, the credit card, has a magnetic stripe on the back of it right now. And what that is the same cassette technology or 8-track technology, which can be easily duplicated. With EMV, what it does is it puts a chip on there. It makes it really hard for the bad guys to duplicate that card. But the breaches aren't happening because cards are duplicated. The breaches are happening with all these major retailers because the cardholder data is in the clear and being passed around through POSs and networks, perhaps even stored in the clear. And that's where end-to-end encryption, or PCI's version of it called point-to-point encryption, really comes into play. So I think it's really silly that we're focusing a lot on EMV to fix the breach. Now, do we need to go to EMV? Absolutely, and we do need to make it harder for skimming to happen and to protect cards from being easily duplicated. But with point-to-point encryption, what that does is focuses on the root of the problem. So I encourage you, if you're going to be doing anything with credit card data or moving financial data over systems to retailers, or even card-not-present environments like mail order, telephone order, et cetera, where folks are keying into a keyboard or into a PC, that you take a serious look at encrypting that data in the hardware before it reaches the PC, where all sorts of malware and things can happen. Thanks for your time.